The problem is, of course, with democracy, and I've said this to a lot of people in the past, democracy is like a horse with three legs. It has movement, but it has the inbuilt ability to continuously go around in circles. We have a joke here. I once went to a meeting and the guy walked into the meeting, the guy said, "Oh," I said, "that's a wonderful looking table." And I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this the level of the meeting we're now about to go into? That the first person I meet is more concerned about the quality of the table that we're sitting on, and that's a little bit where the world is today.
80 years, incredible. But again, not that long ago, if you think, within the century, if you think about it, right? And the over-abiding message of something like that, and the reason that we need to talk about stuff like that is the never again message. You know, the message that we need to learn from history, that we need to realize what we were capable of, what we did, and what we shouldn't do again.
You interview young people here in Holland, and they ask them about Auschwitz. And I mean, half of Amsterdam got emptied. So it's not as if the Dutch don't know anything about what happened to the Jews.
Yeah.
And
but
the thing is that again,
it didn't happen. What's that? Who cares? One kid said, "Well, who cares?"
But it's not even just who cares. It's like not being able to put it into the whole point of history. To me, the reason that we should learn and read and study history is to not repeat our mistakes, because we should learn from history. But the trouble is that, like, there was a radio show that was talk. I was driving that day, and it was talk radio, and the radio presenter, people were calling in, and they were talking. He was talking. It was the Auschwitz day, and people were calling in, and they wanted to talk about Gaza. They wanted to talk about Ukraine. They wanted to talk about the rise of the far right. And it made sense because they were talking about these things in the context of never again. We must learn from these things.
Every time you teach kids.
Yeah, exactly. Every time you see some, every time you think of, if you describe something to somebody, then in the back of their head they're like, yeah, but we're humans. We're not capable of that. It's only when you see stuff like that you go, this is what humans are capable of. If we're let off the leash, if we're completely, not reined in, this is what could happen. And I think this is where it's important to look at those events and to replay those events and to tell people about those events and show people those events. Because if we don't, then out of mind, out of memory. So it's.
But I'd like to add to that.
It's inevitable that they will be repeated.